All right, next project in OGHQ is to work on the ramps. So if you guys haven't watched the previous videos where we did the install, my friend Mike and I, well, mainly Mike did the install there, but he fabricated, whipped up some ramps for me for the scissor lift. One of the issues with the lift, I can get all the cars on here, no problem. It's low enough. The Swiss Trax takes away a little bit of the the height that you need to get up on it, so I can drive up on it no problem with the RS, the S2000. But then the S2000, the pinch welds, the GT3 RS, the jack points are like a quarter of an inch off of the frame of the scissor lift, so I need to lift it up so I can get some of those plastic, or I guess they're rubber blocks underneath there. So I wanted a permanent solution. I know there are other companies that make ramps and things like that, but I wanted something permanent that I could bolt to the floor, that wouldn't move, that wouldn't be obtrusive. And so Mike made these ramps. I'm going to show them to you in a second here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out some of the tiles, I'm going to bolt it to the floor, we're going to test it, see if it works, drive the car up on it, and then we'll be able to, then I'll remove them and have them powder coated if they're, if they work like we think they are going to. So anyway, I'm going to work on that project here today. Let me get set up here, and we'll get moving on getting this ramp done first. All right, so step one, let's pull out. Yeah, this doesn't stay in place. It stays like this, but doesn't stay up. So let me grab something here. How cool is it that I just have gallons of car shampoo just laying around here? Talk about living the dream, people. I'm telling you, in the past I would have budgeted to buy a gallon of soap. All right, let's do that. So here's our ramp, all right? So here's the bottom section of the ramp. So we have mounting points here and here, which this is the lightest thing to be flipping around here, but so we have holes in the top, so we'll be able to drill down through. So this should only take a minute to do once we get it positioned. And then I'll put caps on here. Of course, this is raw right now. We'll powder coat it here as I play with this, make sure it works. At least works. I'm sure it's going to work. It's a question whether it works the way I want to or not. So again, I wanted it to be a little less in your face, and so I also wanted to use it as a guide and to get centered up when I'm driving up onto the scissor lift. So I didn't want it to be as wide. I wanted it a little narrower. And then we have it cut so that it's about the same height as the Swiss Trax. So now, what we'll have to do here, let me pull this out. This down. So the idea is to have a smooth transition. So as the lift, put it right up next to the edge, kick it back, say a quarter of an inch or so it's not touching. So now theoretically, as the lift moves upward, this will lift out of the way, but we won't have like this huge bump, this huge transition to deal with. And then the tires will sit here so that we're 3 inches off the ground. Actually, I think we're 3 inches off the Swiss Trax. Oh no, we're 3 inches off the concrete. So that should be perfect. And I'll measure this and center it up. But first thing I want to do is I want to bring the lift up, see how that looks. All right, so let's see how this works. Yeah, bingo. Nice. It's Come up, let's go down. So then that'll kick right underneath there. Like butter. So yeah, I can definitely bring it right up to the edge. And I'll set them about an 1/8 inch off. And get it all centered up and everything. So make my center line here, and we'll work on drilling our holes. We'll get a little closer view when we get it all set up here, but figures, the darn Swiss tracks had to be just off. That's just bad luck. So I'll have to cut a piece here. Pull this out of the way. Now, it's possible this messes us up for certain cars, but all of my cars fit. The Raptor went on here as well without having to lift these up. Worst case, what I can do, bring the lift up, flip these. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, this is gonna be great. Get these powder coated black. Or I might have them powder coated gray. All right, so I'm gonna put them in the other side as well. Then we'll measure it out and get it all centered up. All right, let's center this up here. These are 25.5 long. So we need this to be 12 3/4. And then this is 12 wide. So we'll go 6. Just to get this centered up. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but if we're doing it, we might as well do it right. And then I'll kick this off 1/4 inch or so off the edge so it doesn't hit. Bingo. Okay. So now I'll drill whole pilot holes, screw it in with concrete anchors. All 4 are dry fit here. If that's the right term, I'm not sure. But so now let's see if anything hits. So let's go up. That's not good. This thing is stuck on here. We gotta cut out this tile a little bit and go back down. So that tile has to be trimmed. I'll fix that later. Make sure that didn't move. Okay, good. Now let's do it. Like butter. Looks like this one needs to move back a little bit. This one's a little too close. Good. It's good. Actually, I think this one can come a little bit closer. little too close. So our test fit looks okay. I need to trim this. Keeps hitting the tile there. Sweet. All right, so we got them all centered. I'm gonna work on drilling some holes, and then I'll come back to you and show you how I did it on the last one instead of the first one. So lesson learned on the last one.
Yeah, 2 in.
I'm gonna do 2 of these in, and then I'll put the third and fourth in. And I'm not using the hammer drill function, so I get nice smooth holes. I think that'll be, I might have to take it off. So what I'm using are 1/4 inch by 1 3/4 hex head Tapcons. So I might have to pull this out of the way to get this to fit. Yep, it's not going to be long enough. So actually, my strategy is not going to work, is it? So I can extend this. That should work.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why I couldn't get it to work the first time. So you can see what I did on the other one is I drilled all 4 holes, and I must have kicked it or bumped it or something like that. So one of the holes is a little bit off, and so I'm going to put 2 in and then come back and put the last 2 in and see if that works a little better. And the other side over there, I used the wrong size bit, so I got to go get some bigger Tapcons to make it work. The thing that stinks is I'm going to get this set up. I'm going to have to remove it so I can go get them powder coated. Should we have it centered up? Go. Alright, should be able to get this deep enough now. I don't know if I can live with knowing there's going to be concrete dust under here now. We're in. Sweet. Last one. Boom. That's not going anywhere. And then what we have are some nifty little grommets. Put those on there. It's a good thing I got friends that can make stuff, because I certainly couldn't do this. Try a different one. This hole's a little smaller, I think. I see it needs to be. I think I can still get it in there. Sweet. That looks pretty cool, eh? So now on the other side, I need to go over there, get some, because I drilled the hole is too big. So I need to get some different concrete anchors. But the two main ones are in. All right, we're in. Now it's time to test it. I'm gonna put the GT3 on here, see how it goes. Let's also test and make sure, now that I've got them mounted and bolted to the floor, I want to make sure that we have enough clearance. So I'm going to set the camera up and show you that here in a second, but this looks good. I like how it turned out, and it's almost a shame. I really don't want to pull them off the ground now and go get them powder coated, but I certainly will at some point. You know, this raw steel will rust at some point, but look at how cool that looks. You know, you'd rather not have it at all, but in order to make these as functional as possible while sitting on top of the concrete, you know, it's not being recessed. I think this is kind of what we have to deal with, what we're stuck with here. So anyway, let's get the camera set up and let's move them up and down and see how it goes. Just make sure we can get this up and down before I put a car on it and get it stuck. So, all right, all good. So I'm going to pull the GT3 over here and put it on, see how it goes. Now I purposely pulled a little further over to the right here, to the right, so I'm going to have to center it up, but I wanted to show you how much smoother the transition's going to be. So as you can see, let me take the camera off here so you can see how much better that's going to be getting the car up on there. And then of course, I'll also show you in a second, the key here is that as the tires sit on the flat part, I'll easily be able to have enough room to get up under the car with the blocks. That's the design. So let's get it on there and see how it looks. That's nice. Makes it so much smoother. I don't have to like race up onto it. This way a little bit more. There we go. That's pretty sick. Now I don't have any issues. One, it's a lot smoother transition, working my way up. But now I can easily fit whatever lift blocks I want. Let me show you that. So whereas before I was pulling up on 2x4 so that I could fit the blocks under here, but now I've got tons of room. I could even do a thicker block if I wanted to. I like these blocks because it's easier to aim. Right, I can just hit exactly where I need to hit. That's perfect. Well, let's put it up in the air. It's pretty uneventful now. Love it. Awesome. All right, so that's the extent of the ramps. I don't know if I'm going to manufacture these or not. I may, but thanks to Mike, NorCal, was he NorCal F80 or F80 underscore NorCal, or vice versa on Instagram. But Mike built these things for me. I think when my dad gets here, I'll have him pull them off, and we'll probably take them and have them powder coated. Man, it looks good. Again, what I wish I didn't line up the car. Now the RS is going to be wider than most cars, but I guess it's fine. I mean, again, you may want to mount them a little bit further to the outside, or maybe I should manufacture them to be a little bit bigger. I didn't want them to be too wide where I'd be tripping over them all the time. I didn't want it to be all the way on the edge. So anyway, I'll be sure to report more on them, but a neat little project that turned out great. What happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor, foot to the floor.